Hi guys, Dr. Matt here today. Today we're going to talk about the concept of calories in, calories out, and how this conceptually was supposed to help people lose weight, and how it is not working today. It's not successful for many people, and the reason why is because physiologically in the body it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't work with the metabolisms that we've been given. So let's understand this. Not all calories are created the same, and that's very important to understand. And so a calorie is a unit of energy that your body uses to get through the day, okay? If you think of energy, energy is one of the most essential pieces of life in order for our body to create and be able to use energy. And so there's three major nutrients that we need for our bodies to survive. One is proteins, fats, and then carbohydrates. So let's go through these so we have a better understanding of how these work in our bodies when we intake them, okay? I know the years in the past, people have said, well, I need to reduce the amount of fat that I have, that I'm intaking, and reduce cholesterol and reduce fat foods because I want to lose fat. Well, that whole concept has been blown out of the water, and if you want to really begin to lose weight, we have to figure out how to utilize that fat to rev up your metabolism, okay? And there's going to be many videos on this to better understand this whole concept, but it can become very complicated, so we're going to break it down into little pieces for you. So first, proteins. Proteins are solely designed to really build tissue, right? It's to help repair skin and bone and grow hair and your fingernails, and that's really the main purpose of the proteins in your body, is to rebuild and build tissue up, okay? Now, question is, how much protein do we really need in our diet? Well, about 35 to 40% of our diet should be protein. Now, one protein molecule has about 4 calories in it, okay? So this really, honestly, the calorie piece of it doesn't matter all that much when it comes to losing weight, other than the fact that some have more than others, but those calorie numbers aren't going to determine whether you're going to lose weight or you're going to not lose weight, okay? So it's the nutrients that you're putting in your body and how your body reacts to those calories. So proteins actually are their tissue building, but they're going to stimulate some fat burning hormones when it's about 35 to 40% of your intake of calories, okay? Fats here, they have a high caloric intake, okay? And these also are used to build tissues and so forth, but fats have a very neutral effect on your hormones. They have a very neutral effect on your fat burning as well as fat storing hormones. Fats are very essential to the body. Fats help to build our skin, our nerves, our brain, our hormones. It's no wonder why today we have so many hormone issues, is because our body doesn't have the nutrients really to build the proper hormones that it needs. But fats and proteins are the building blocks to many of the tissues that we have in our body today. And so the last one here is carbohydrates. And you can see carbohydrates and proteins both have 4 calories. But carbohydrates, these come from, I'm going to break this down into 2 sources. There's sugars, okay? And these are your breads, your pastas, your bagels, your pizzas, your processed, refined grains, those type of nutrients that are coming from those carbohydrates. Those are the carbohydrates that we want to absolutely avoid, because those carbohydrates are going to cause a much higher hormone spike of insulin, and insulin is the biggest fat storing hormone that we have to be concerned about. This is why when we eat regularly throughout the day, even snacks, we're keeping our insulin high, which is just storing hormones all the time, storing fat all the time in our body. So carbs and refined carbs, we need to eliminate those. But if you look here, we need carbohydrates for nutrients, okay? And so there's another type of carbohydrate that we want to talk about, and these are your green, leafy, vegetable carbohydrates. It's the carbohydrates that we're getting from veggies. Not our starchy vegetables, such as potatoes and some rice and those starchy type of foods. It's our vegetables, and it's these nutrients, okay, that actually allow the fats and proteins to do their job to build tissue, build hormones, build energy molecules for the body, okay? So are carbohydrates important? Yes, okay? Are they important in a refined grain and sugar realm? Absolutely not, okay? That's very inflammatory to the body, and it can not allow these nutrients to do what they need because we're not getting the proper nutrients in the body. So when you think of carbs, green leafy vegetables, non-starchy vegetables is where we want to get those nutrients because it's going to have our vitamins and minerals and cofactors and so forth in them. Now what's interesting though is that the concept of just cutting calories out of our diet, and if we cut calories we're going to lose fat, doesn't always work that way. Because if your diet was high carbs and you just reduce the number of calories from carbohydrates, then you're still going to be storing fat. But if your diet was high fat, and what do I mean by high fat? Like 60 to 80% of your diet being fat, if it was high fat, you're going to have a neutral response on insulin. So it's not going to trigger that fat storing mechanism. So I know this can get kind of complicated when we talk about fat burning hormones and fat storing hormones, and how carbs stimulate the fat storing hormones, and fats and proteins stimulate the fat burning hormones. So we're going to get more into this as we go in more videos, but I want to just lay the basics out that not all calories are the same, and calorie in, calorie out does not mean that you're going to lose weight.